What's going on? It is Monday morning, another beautiful week, and we have less than 20 days until the elections in the United States. We have less than 20 days to get ready, get food, get water, get medical, get ammunition, get everything that you think you need for whatever's going to happen after this. And a lot of people think that if Trump gets in office, everything is going to be good. Everything is going to go back to normal. Everything is going to smooth out. And I'm here to tell you that most likely it's not. And if Kamala gets in office, you know things are not going to get any better. She openly talks about what she wants. She openly talks about, communist ideas, Marxist ideas. The left is openly talking about that, openly talking about killing more babies, getting rid of God. So you know it's not going to get any better. Not to mention all the civil unrest that's going to happen, especially if Trump gets into office. Do you think the left is going to sit by and just let that happen? Look what they did the first time he got in office. Every day it was something else. It was some kind of lawsuit. It was some kind of pushback. Anything that he tried to get done. It is not going to get any better regardless who gets in office. And that's a really unfortunate thing to say, to think about, but it's the truth. It's what's going to happen. I don't see the two parties getting along anytime soon. I don't see the majority of the people coming together and singing Kumbaya and getting along. I don't see it. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't see it. Maybe you see it differently. But regardless, I have an idea. Either Trump wins and they start burning shit to the ground, or Kamala wins and there's a couple protests, like another January 6th, and they say, see, look, another insurrection. And that's where they come and ban our guns. That's when they come and, martial law, whatever. They're doing things, they're setting things in place right now. They have been for the last 15, 20 years. Laws and edicts, they've been putting them in place. They're trying to pass a bill right now to where the military and the police have the right to shoot you for whatever. Speaking your thoughts, First Amendment. They're putting these things in place right now. So when it does happen, or if it happens, or if they manufacture something to happen, like they have been known to do for years and years, every single one of these, crazy people that do something, every time it happens, there's some kind of weird conspiracy to it. And you can't, one time is weird, 2 times is okay, that's kind of, it's odd. 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, where the people's houses are cleaned, and every single one of these crazy people that do something bad has some kind of tie to the FBI or the CIA. Every single one of them. Whether it's their phone, their communication with them, or they work for them. I mean, look at Osama bin Laden. He worked in the CIA. He was part of the CIA. Charles Manson, he was connected to the CIA. This mind control, warping, pushing their agenda kind of thing. It has been happening for decades. And every time they need something to happen, they poof. There's some kind of, an event that happens. Whether it's a bunch of few people storming the Capitol and riling everybody else up to go along with it. The peer pressure is pretty easy to convince a population to go a certain way. They just need a little nudge. But don't think for a second that just because the elections, after they're over, everything's going to, go away. Our country, the entire world is upside down right now. There's talk, China's talking about war. North Korea is openly talking about nuclear war. They're doing things, blowing up roads between South Korea and North Korea. Iran and Israel are fighting again. And America is involved with Russia's war. America is involved with Israel's war. And America is involved in just about everybody's war. And it's weird that 4 years of Trump, there was no new wars. But look what Biden and Harris done in the last 3.5, almost 4 years now. Look what they've managed to accomplish in 4 years. How many wars? The entire world caught on fire after, when they became dictators. And it seems like every 4 years, every time there's a Democrat in office, there's another war. Republicans too, except for Trump. I don't think Trump is a Republican or a Democrat. I think he's an American. Could be wrong about that. But that's what we all need to be. We all need to be Americans. We all need to be, I wouldn't say nationalists, but I would say be proud of where you come from. Even if you don't come from America, be proud of your heritage. But America involves integrating here. It involves being an American. It doesn't mean give up all your beliefs and ideas. But some of them, to be honest with you, the people that come from really bad countries, when you bring your bad ideas here, like beheading people because, whatever you believe, or women can't show themselves and they have to be dressed up in blankets and stuff, like that's not an American idea. That's not an American thing. You can do it. By all means, wrap yourself up if you want to. But don't try to force it onto people in America. That's what America is about. The American is about freedom of doing whatever you want as long as it doesn't hurt anybody. And we're letting millions of people in our country that have the idea that they need to kill Americans. I guarantee you, in the next year or so, maybe sooner, something bad is going to happen. Something bad enough to where they have to do some kind of lockdown. It could be another pandemic. It could be some kind of mass event. And you need to understand that it is going to happen. Tomorrow, in a week, in a month, in a year, it will happen. And that's why everybody needs to have some kind of preparedness. You need food. You need water. You need to learn how to grow your own food. I think most people have been talking about it for a long time now. But that's the thing. People are just talking about it. You can talk as much as you want. You can read as much as you want. But when you don't put it to practice, when you don't put these ideas to practice, it's like reading about architecture, and it shows how people build buildings, how they draw buildings. I read a couple books on it, I'm good at it. You're not good at it until you mess up and you try it 100 times and you get a little bit better at it. There's a vision that martial artists train for years and years and years. They don't read about, jiu-jitsu. They practice it, they learn it, they experience it. They're terrible at it at first and they get better and better. And that's the same mentality that you need for preparedness. That's the same thing we all need to get better at whatever we're doing. You need to understand that you need to practice what you read, what you look at, what you try to understand. You need to go to the range. You need to shoot your bow. You need to learn how to do these things now. There are less than 20 days until the country gets flipped upside down, even more so than it already is. These movies that they're pushing on us are showing what is potentially going to happen. From that Obama movie where the grid goes down, and that's something else they've been talking about. Cuba just had the entire country went dark. Their grid failed. And they tried to reboot it like 2 or 3 times and it failed. I don't know if it's up yet. This happened a couple of days ago. But Cuba's been in the dark for the last couple of days. It only takes 3 days before, mass anarchy happens in the country. Granted, Cuba is not as proficient, doesn't have as good technology as us. It's a lot smaller. It's easier to maintain. But America's is also a lot harder to get back up and running because it is so big. There's only 3 or 4 major electrical, grids in America. I think Texas has its own, and there's a north one, and there's a west one, and there's a central one. Main hubs of where our electricity is converted for us to use. And our water system is vulnerable. It'd be very easy for somebody to completely destroy big, not necessarily small towns, but bigger cities. It'd be very easy for somebody to sabotage that or put some kind of ransomware in it or some kind of virus in it to where it doesn't clean it correctly, or maybe it adds too much chemicals. It'd be very easy for somebody to do that. It'd be really easy for somebody to shut down the power grid. You see all these ransomware attacks happening. Every day you can go on the news and you can see a new one, whether it's Google or a pipeline, something more major. You need to understand that what we have in place right now is not going to be there very much longer, whether by design, intentional or not, or maybe nefarious way, whatever. It's not going to be there. That's the point. The point isn't for it not to be there. And then the government's going to come in and say, we have a solution. And it happens all the time. Government causes problem. You get scared and you panic and you say, oh, government, please help us. What can we do? And they'll say, oh, hey, we just came up with this idea. Knowing damn well that the idea that they had was written 20 years ago and they just now are implementing what they, did. So understand that. Get prepared. Get your families prepared. Read your Bible. Pray. Go to the store. Go to Aldi's. Go to Walmart. Whatever you have to do. Get $20, $30 worth of canned goods. Learn to rotate them. I hope everybody has a great day.